Good morning, Year 3. Mrs. Smith here with your first of the reading lessons of the series of online lessons we're doing for you. You have obviously found them on YouTube as you're now listening to me. They will be on there then the evening before, ready for the next morning's work. We'll go through the text on the board here on the video here together, and then we will give you a task to do. The green task is the core task that most of you will complete. The yellow task is a simplified version of that task, makes it a little bit easier for you to do. And the blue task is then an extension task for those who want something more challenging to do. So, our first book we're going to look at this week, or the book for the week, is going to be Zog. Okay, so Zog is written by Julia Donaldson, and it's also available now as a programme on iPlayer, so please welcome to watch it at the end of the week, but don't watch it before then. This is a picture of Julia Donaldson, the author of the book, amongst with a lot of characters around her. She's known from many books. I'm sure you have read lots of them already. So we're going to begin the story, the first 4 pages today, and we're going to work on those for the week. So the story begins. Madame Dragon ran a school many moons ago. She taught young dragons all the things that dragons need to know. Zog, the biggest dragon, was the keenest one by far. He tried his hardest every day to win a golden star. All the dragons in Year 1 were learning how to fly. "Hi," said Madame Dragon, "way up in the sky. Now that you've been shown, you can practice on your own, and you'll all be expert flyers by the time you're fully grown." Zog went off to practice, flying fast and free. He soared and swooped and looped the loop, then crashed into a tree. Okay, so we're going to just look at those 4 pages first this morning, and we can use our hand to help us summarise what we've just read. So what was the first thing we learnt about this story? We can look at our thumb as our first point to help us create a list of things that tells us what happened in the story. Okay, so number 1, Zog goes to dragon school. What happens next? Yes, he's a very keen student. He wants to do well. He's also the biggest dragon, isn't he? But I haven't put that down. I kept it quite simple. After that, what happened next in the story? We're told he wants to win a golden star. That's his ultimate aim. He wants to please, and he wants to do extremely well so that he can get a golden star. What happens next in the story after that? Yes, the dragons all start to try to fly. So Madame Dragon tells us exactly how they're going to be going up high, and all the dragons have a go, including Zog. And what happens next? Yes, Zog crashes into a tree. So we've used our hand, the 5 points, to summarise those 4 pages of what happened from the beginning when we started reading to the point where I stopped. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this text here. That is not Zog, it's another dragon story with the character Matthew in it. And we're going to look at what does the word horrified mean in this text. You can see the horrified is in purple, and it is here. And then in the text, in purple here, but I highlight as well, it is here. So we're going to read through the paragraph it's in, and we're going to read around the word to decide what we think the word means from the clues in the rest of the sentences. Let's read the text. It leaped. Matthew shouted in terror as the diving black shape knocked him to the ground, trapping him under one fierce paw. He was caught. He couldn't move. He stared up horrified into the gleaming yellow eyes, the grinning mouth full of pointed white teeth. The cat crouched, triumphant, gloating. First it would play with this creature like a tennis ball, and then... Okay, so the word horrified is in this sentence. I'll read this one sentence on its own now. He stared up horrified into the gleaming yellow eyes, the grinning mouth full of pointed white teeth. I'm going to pause for a moment and you're going to have a think about what you think horrified actually means in that sentence. Okay, so if we're not sure in that sentence what it means, we can read around sentences. Let's read before that sentence what happened. Well, we said that he is the character Matthew, and Matthew has a black shape that knocks him to the ground. Knocked him to the ground, traps him under one fierce paw. He is caught. He couldn't move. And at that point he stared up horrified into the gleaming yellow eyes, the grinning mouth full of pointed white teeth. If he's looking up into a mouth full of pointed white teeth to me looks like they're ready to eat. They're going to tear meat very well if they're pointed teeth. So it gives me the feeling that actually if he's caught under a paw and he's looking up at these pointed teeth, this is a very negative feeling right now. He stared up horrified into the gleaming yellow eyes. I think he is scared. I think horrified means he's scared. He stared up horrified into the gleaming yellow eyes, the grinning mouth full of pointed white teeth. I think from those sentences around it and the sentence that it is in, that horrified means that he is scared. He was in full of horror that he's going to be eaten by the cat. It then goes on to talk about the cat crouched. So that it's the cat's paw that Matthew is currently underneath. Okay, so we've learnt how to read around the word to decide what we think the word might mean. And we're going to use those skills in our task today. 3 tasks we talked about, yellow, green and blue. You choose which colour you're going to have a go at. We said the green is for most people, it's the core task. So let's have a look at that one first. It's here. This is the chart you will have on your worksheet. So the chart has 4 columns. If you look at the first chart, it says Zog, the biggest dragon, was the keenest one by far. So the word today that you're going to look at is the one that's in bold. Keenest. Keenest one by far. And you're going to look at it in that sentence, what you think it means. So you're going to write down in that chart here, in this space here, what you think it means. Then I'd like you to find the dictionary definition. If you have a dictionary at home, great. If you don't have a dictionary at home, we can use the internet to help us. So if we go to Google and put in dictionary, you'll then have dictionary.com, which we can go into. And at the top spacebar, we can put in the word we're looking for today, which is keenest, and then go to search. And it brings up the word keen, because keenest has got the est suffix on the end for the root word keen. Zog was very keen at his studies. So you work out from these definitions which is the right one for this sentence it is in. Let's go back to the chart. We'd write in here what we think it means in the dictionary definition column. And then over here, the synonyms, choosing a word that you think means a similar word, a similar meaning. it means the same thing. Zog, the biggest rat dragon, was the keenest one by far. What's another word I could put instead of using the word keenest? Core task, then you go on to expert and sword. If you like a simplified version of this, you then do the yellow task, which has 3 words, but you're going to just tell me what you think they mean, and a word you think that is similar to that word. Blue task, should you want to have an extension task, there are 4 columns to complete. What you think it means, the dictionary definition, the synonym meaning a word that's similar, and antonym, a word that's opposite in meaning. What would be the opposite meaning of keenest? If you weren't the keenest student, what word could you use there instead to mean the opposite meaning? So that's your task for today, and we'd like to have you'd have a go at that, and then you could send it back to us. If you send it back to us by 3:30, then you'll have some feedback from your teacher on your class email from your task today, should you be able to get it to us before 3:30. If you can't get it before 3:30, then we'll have feedback at some point, presumably the next day from that task. So this is the end of the first video. The next video will be available from 5 o'clock the evening before, so this evening, 5 o'clock, next one will be there ready for tomorrow's lesson, where we continue to look at Zog a little bit more further in another reading skill. Again, like we said before, it is on iPlayer, and you are more than welcome to watch that at the end of the week as a reward that you've got your learning done for the reading this week. But don't watch it till then. Don't find out what's next, because that's going to be one of our foci in our lessons this week. Right, thank you very much. We will look forward to having your items handed in, and you'll hear from me again tomorrow morning, ready for the lesson number 2. Thank you, Year 3.